The year 2020 has been an interesting year in terms of various cyber threats and an ever evolving cyber threat landscape. This year has been uh, changing many things and has impacted many sectors and many industries thanks to COVID-19. Organizations and industries have been pushed into various kinds of or various angles of digital transformation. We've also seen the role of state and non-state actors also evolving. We have seen a significant increase in phishing attacks. The current stats state that there has been a 600% increase in phishing attacks. We've been seeing lots of new non-state actors coming in, lots of new types of malware coming in. And because of this, the cyber threat landscape of many countries and many geographical locations has been evolving. My name is Farooq Naiyer, and I would like to welcome you all. Uh, in Urdu, we say Khush Amdeed. In Punjabi, we say Ji Ayanu. In Sindhi, we say Pali Karaya. And in Pashto, we say Bakhair Ragle. So I'd like to welcome you all to the South Asian edition of Intercontinental CISO Forum. My name is Farooq Naiyer, and I'm the Chief Information Security Officer for Orion, which is a research and education network for the province of Ontario in Canada. I'm originally from Pakistan, moved to Canada about 10 years ago. So I've had a pretty long working experience in Pakistan too. Would like to kick off today's proceedings with the fireside chat. And I'm fortunate enough to be joined by the Chief Executive Officer of the CDC, which is also known as the Central Depository Company of Pakistan, Mr. Badiuddin Akber. And before we dive into the conversation, I would let Mr. Badiuddin Akber introduce himself, tell us about his background, and then we'll kickstart our fireside chat, which is about the cyber threat landscape of Pakistan and how it's evolving. So, Badi Saab, over to you.
Thank you very much, Farooq, and assalamu alaikum, everyone. And a good morning from Pakistan. This is Pakistan time. It's about the 10 a.m. in the morning. Yeah, as I said, my name is Badiuddin Akber. By profession, I am a chartered accountant from Canada, the UK, and Pakistan. My background of more than about 25 years in the capital market. I serve as the chief financial officer in various listed companies, and then I serve in the National Clearing Company for the chief operating officer, and then I serve as the chairman oversight committee in Pakistan for a couple of years, and then chief regulatory officer for the stock market, and then I'm assuming the role of chief executive officer since 2019. So it's about more than 25 years journey in the stock market. I started the journey in Pakistan, the stock market, where we use the paper-based securities settlement with the outcry in the stock chain, and the journey evolving from that path to entire market is going to be digitized. So it's a huge journey, and definitely with Farooq and you, and we'll give you a better insight. What are the journey? What is the journey we have over the past 25 years, and how things are evolved, and where the things are evolved, and we are getting more modernized and digitized. But at the same time, various other threats and very famous threats these days, cyber attack and cyber security, and a common name is the ransomware. You know, this is these are the word using these days, the malware and the ransomware. So these businesses who are very much prone to the online presence, they are very much exposed to such type of attacks. And then we start the conversation. Then I'll give you the brief what exactly we have done, what are our plans, what are the role of the ecosystem in the stock market, what the role of the in three organization in Pakistan, what is the role of the regulator. We'll give you a detail about that. Over to you, Farooq.
Thank you, Badi Saab. बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया आपका. And you have, mashallah, pretty good background in compliance, risk management, exposure to the board and management. And the direction in which I'm going to be taking today's direction is more about governance and oversight in terms of what's the role of the board of directors, what's the role of executive management in ensuring that risks pertaining to cybersecurity, how are they managed and how are they taken care of. So I think I would like to start off by asking you that what's the role of the executive management and the board of directors in ensuring that organizations like this, CDC have the right resources to respond to cyber threats?
Yeah, obviously, you know, okay, these are the very important functions these days in the organization like CDC. You know, first of all, I would like to give you brief about what exactly the systems are here, because we cannot work in isolation in the stock market. In Pakistan stock market, there are three self-regulatory organizations. They are tightly integrated, which is the Pakistan Stock Exchange, the clearing company, and the depository. So all they have a common shareholders among these organizations, and these are tightly regulated by the SEC. And obviously, it is a drive from the oversight, it is a drive from the board side, from the top management side. And we at CDC and other organizations like NCPL Stock Exchange, they took this important function, this strategic function of the organization. We always give a top priority to the IT side. Just as I stated earlier, that we started from the outcry system, paper-based settlement system to the dematerialization system. The size of the data we are capturing here in Pakistan is about more than 40 billion US dollars securities data in CDC. We are more than 1,000 companies on the board. We have more than 250,000 investors who work together. With the online presence entire day, and for some functions, the entire function is available 24 by 7. So the cybersecurity threat and the state of the IT infrastructure is the need of the day. We cannot avoid, even the board or the management, the top management always give high priority, because we are the digital based company. When this cybersecurity stack started, from our childhood, we learn about these are the software available, the firewalls available. Now the things are changing a lot. We are moving towards ahead from these traditional firewalls. Now we have taken cybersecurity as a strategic function in the organization, which is directly overseen by the board committees and the top management committee. In CDC, we have a specific securities management group headed by the CEO, and we have a board level IT study committee who is headed by the top IT expert in the country, who is presently the IT head of the HBL, the largest bank of Pakistan. All the policies specific to cybersecurity and the IT. It is governed and guidance taken by the board directly. And then we execute in pattern and spread what exactly we have. We have allocated a sufficient pool of resources, both in terms of people and processes, and the proper budgetary allocation to the cybersecurity. This is not only for the CDC, other two organizations with the National Clearing Company and PSS. You know what exactly happened in Pakistan? When you execute trade in the automated trading terminal of the stock exchange, these trades are automatically transmitted to the NCCPL, and this automatically settles through the central depository. The entire business day, all three businesses are exposed to public nationally and the globally. So, because it's a typical infrastructure we have. The stock chain given 250 brokers to the access to the system, and 250 brokers give online platform to various investors across the country and globally. And then the NCCPL system is tightly integrated with the financial system of Pakistan. Almost all the bank branches are connected for the payment settlement. And likewise, the CDC system is directly connected to the 60,000 direct investors who use our system online for the security settlement, for the transfer of the shares from one account to another account. And at the end of the day, the securities are settled directly through CDC. So whatever the security or the cyber security protocol we adopted, the same has to be adopted by the stock exchange and the NCCPL. So we have a closed forum, we have a common board structure. We whatever we invest here, we share our ideas, our experience to other organizations, and they are also executing the same protocol over there. Because you are the IT guy, much better when the system are tightly integrated. So your system are exposed to many other channels. So every area has to be plugged in sufficiently and properly. So we ensure, and over and above board and the management, we have a regulator who have given a typical regulatory structure for the IT security. For even though for the board structure is very interesting here in Pakistan, we should have a one-third independent director as per the code of corporate governance, and one of the directors should have, as per the regulation, from the IT background. So it is a mandatory requirement of three organizations. They should have a proper IT background guy on this board who has to head the IT security committee, IT steering committee, and all the budgets and all the issues has to be taken directly with the IT steering committee, and then we implement accordingly. And over and above, we have been audited. We have a typical internal IT audit department, and we have been audited as per the regulatory structure by the external parties, big four firms, every year 2 times. And these report has to present to the board and then to the apex regulator, which is the Security Exchange Commission of Pakistan. So you can see In a short span of time, I cannot, there's so many details I can share, but we can understand what exactly is the role of cybersecurity here and what is the top priority given by these organizations to cybersecurity. And day by the last couple of years, the more focus, whenever we started a digital drive in the country through the capital market, our first preference is to what are the risks associated with these digital drives. We always take care of that.
No, I think that's a pretty efficient mechanism that you have over here to ensure that all the key stakeholders within the capital market space of Pakistan are properly integrated and you have the right amount of controls and right amount of oversight also. But
Exactly.
Isab, I would like to switch the conversation more around risk management and compliance now, given the fact that you've had significant experience in risk management and compliance in NCCPL and of course over here also, and you've been a chief operating officer also. So let's talk more about risks around fraud risk management and risks around anti-money laundering and KYC. How is your organization managing those risks, and how are you guys keeping an oversight on that and making sure that those risks are properly managed by all the key stakeholders?
Yeah. Very interesting question you have. As I told you, my one of my previous role, I was appointed as chairman oversight committee for the joint inspection in the stock market, whereby the stockbrokers and all the market participants have been audited, need to be audited every year jointly by CDC, NCPL, and the stock exchange. So in the capital market, there are two types of a typical risk here. One is the internal fraud risk, and more than that is the risk or the misuse and handling of securities by the brokers or other participant who is using the market platform for this settlement of securities. So here the securities system, the risk management is two tier, which is a regulated risk management. The typical VAR-based margin, each and everything, and there is a non-regulated risk management. The company has adopted here internally. For example, CDC has implemented the enterprise risk management framework on the basis of the COSO principle. We are the first organization in the capital market who has, in the letter and spirit, implemented the detailed ERM framework across the organization for each and every function. We
Amazing.
have given a separate specific chapter to the risk management for the cyber security and the IT security. The comprehensive register is a chief risk officer who is reported directly to the board, and the reports are shared directly with the board. And we have a top management level risk management internal committee who every quarter we meet together and we identify the risk, and all the framework is about more than 50 columnar risk register we have. Each and every process we execute here has been identified. What are the associated risks over there? What are the likelihood of their impact? What is the impact, and what is the materiality acceptance for the PDC as well? So this is a comprehensive risk register we specifically assigned for the overall processes and particular to the IT and the cybersecurity. For the risk management overall from NCCPL and stock exchange side, yes, they do also as well. They have a proper structure of the internal risk management. For example, NCCPL is a regulated risk management entity for the stock market trade and transaction. So they taken care of as per the regulation what exactly they have to perform their role as a risk management. They are also acted as a central counterparty for the trade and transaction executed between the parties. For internal fraud, we have a typical departmentalization structure here. We have a typical internal audit in a silo and in a comprehensive internal audit as well. And by law, we have been audited as per the statutory audit, which is the normal financial audit every year. With this audit, we have to undergone through three compulsory audit here. One is the internal control audit, one is the compliance audit, and one is the IT system audit. These audits have been done by the Big Four or any other known world-class firm, and this firm appointed and recommended by board and approved by the SECP. You can see the state of governance here. Even for the auditor, the apex regulator has given his approval that yes, this is the auditor. You are going to audit your system and this. For the AML and CFT and for the KYC regime, NCCPL, who is a centralized clearing company, has been given a role of centralized KYC organization. They perform the KYC of each and every investor in Pakistan. Typically, in Pakistan, have a unique structure. If you want to invest in Pakistan, first you have to obtain a unique identification number from NCCPL, which is your national ID card number, who has been registered in the system, and then they perform a first level KYC for you, and they issue the unique KYC number to the investor. This is a combination. You should have a UIN and then you have a UKN number. It means your initial KYC has been done by the centralized KYC organization with the due process as per the AML regulation they perform. And the continuous due diligence is the responsibility of the executing brokers or the financial institution. They perform their comprehensive due diligence as per their profile, as per their risk profile, as per their financial profile. They continuously monitor. For example, Badi Saab has the 500,000 rupees. I declare my income as a 500,000 rupees. So the broker or the executing broker, the participant has to ensure my trade level should not exceed abnormally with my declared income. If anything happens, they report directly to the SCCP. And SCCP and this oversight board continuously audit specifically for the AML and the KYC for the broker and all the market participants. In CDC, we do not need to perform the KYC because the investor has opened account directly with the broker, which has been KYC'd by the NCCPL. We perform other due diligences for the investor account holder we have. We perform their, we open their account on the basis of certain information we obtain as per the guidelines given by SCCP, what should be the minimum requirement for the registering detail of a particular investor. So this is the KYC internally, and the global and the national level the KYC is done by NCCPL, and the continuous due diligence done by as per the law by the executing broker and the financial institution. And interestingly, one thing more, for the money settlement, NCCPL and CDC system is tightly integrated, directly integrated without any manual intervention with the banks. So banks also perform a due diligence of their account holder. So there are three-tier risk management, three-tier KYC regime here. So everything is done in a proper manner. And nevertheless, yes, things are happening here. Some breaches are there that has been audited and reported directly to SCCP, and the proper action taken by stock exchange and NCCP and EDC accordingly as per their regulation. Because we have been given a status of the self-regulatory organization. We have been empowered by law. We can suspend the participant, we can terminate the participant, we can impose the penalties of any non-compliances of any of the regulations here. So we have a sufficient power and the structure here to perform the role of KYC, CDD, enhance due diligence, each and everything is in proper in place so far. Yeah.
Thank you, Badi Saab. And it seems that you guys have a pretty efficient control and compliance framework and really good governance in place. And I mean, I'm by profession, I'm an internal auditor too. So it's music to my ears when I hear that you guys have got multiple tiers of audit and assurance processes built into your processes. So really good to hear that. Now, I'd like to switch back a conversation around cybersecurity. And I think one of the things that I caught on when you were talking about the overall governance structure around cybersecurity was that you guys may have made sure that at least one or two people on the board of directors are people who have a strong background in IT and cybersecurity.
Yes.
That's good to hear. Now, we live in a world, Badi Saab, which is constantly evolving. A few months ago, the New Zealand Stock Exchange was attacked and was down for 2 days. And there are lots of speculations around that there was a state actor involved or a non-state actor involved and things like those. So what is your what is being done to make sure that your board of directors are aware of the current changes in the current cybersecurity threat landscape, and what's being done to make sure that the process around awareness and the subsequent action is more efficient? Because I mean, they say that a cybersecurity strategy cannot be static; it has to be dynamic, and it has to evolve dynamically based on the threat landscape. So, what is the BOD doing from that perspective?
Yeah, exactly. A very good question. As I said earlier, all the businesses who have their online presence cannot say they are 100% immune to the cyber attack, because their impact, they can perform, they can have a reasonable assurance, reasonable control over here. And for the awareness of the board and for the awareness of the management, as I told earlier, we have a proper structure of the board. We have IT steering committee, and as per the audit charter and as per the plan, TOR of this IT steering committee has to meet every quarter. And in case anything happen internationally or nationally, it is the responsibility of the management, the CEO, the Chief Information Officer, and the CISO. They have to give a proper brief note to the chairman of the IT steering committee. And then chairman IT steering committee call a meeting for the detailed briefing. For example, as you rightly example, the New Zealand Stock Exchange, and another happening here for the Key Electric ransomware. Yeah. We have sent a detailed note to the IT steering committee for both the event, and then IT steering committee called emergent meeting. And in that meeting, we invited some of the board members as well, because we have 4 board members for the IT steering committee. For this particular event, we invited two more board members to discuss it at length. What exactly happened at the New Zealand Stock Exchange, and what exactly happened at the Key Electric, and what is the health of the CDC system. If we mapped our system, existing control with the Key Electric applied, and what are the control at the New Zealand Stock Exchange. So Alhamdulillah, I cannot say we are 100% secure, but the tools and the processes we implemented, it is as per the international, at par with international standards. Then we have implemented 2 or 3 additional technical tools. After that happening, the one of our director, who is an IT expert, he is the chief information officer of the HBL. They guide us how we have to improve our security health at the IT side. They advise something, and then the board has graciously approved at the middle of the year a separate amount of amount of pool for acquiring such solution in the system. So this is kind of the oversight we have. For what your other question about that?
So, but the other question was, I mean, it's the same thing. It's about how do you make sure that the board is aware of the evolving threat
Yeah, we
landscape?
have continuously giving. As per the code of corporate governance, we have to address the board and the management and the staff continuously for any changes. Not only for the cybersecurity, we have to update the board. It is our fiduciary responsibility as a CEO or the chief regulatory officer, which we have another guy. It is our fiduciary responsibility. We have to update the board of anything happening, not only for the IT side, at the regulatory side, at the financial side, the process side. We have to give a detailed briefing note every month to our board what exactly happening here. So the board is always abreast, and we give a proper training to the board as well. It is a mandatory training required to the board to have a directorship on the board. In that directorship program, one specific chapter is pertaining to the function in the system as well. So it is the fiduciary responsibility of the board of directors as well. They have to get update. They have to be aware of the function, the business processes of the company they are sitting as an independent director, because it's a huge responsibility. And CDC NCP Stock Chain has been given a particular licensing regulation under the Securities Act 2015, which bound the directors that they have a certain eligibility criteria. And one of the criteria is that they have to continue updated themselves for the businesses and operation of the stock market. Not only CDC, they have to address themselves for the CDC stock change and the clearing company, because they are sitting on the board, they are performing the role of the oversight. It is the responsibility of the management to address themselves, to update themselves, and it is the fiduciary responsibility of the board of directors as well. They have to get updated, they have to get aware what exactly happening around in this market. So this is the oversight and the updated structure here in Pakistan for the capital market.
Okay. No, really happy to hear that you guys are making sure that the board is aware of the evolving threat landscape. Well, that's good. Now, I have a question about the reporting lines of the CISO in your organization. I mean, when I was in Pakistan, the reporting lines were a bit different, and it's been quite some time since I left Pakistan. So how has the reporting structure for the CISO involved in your organization, and how has that changed the strategic picture as it relates to cybersecurity?
Oh, it's a very good question again, because over the period of time, the things are evolving here in capital market in all terms, whether it's the regulatory structure, operational structure, processes, and systems as well. And then the SECP and all 3 organizations have worked together to perform to define the role of the HR and their reporting line as well. So not only the CISO, we have a chief regulatory officer who has the independent chief regulatory officer who reported directly to the board committee, is a regulatory affairs committee. We have a chief internal auditor who has directly report to the audit committee. Administratively, they report to the CEO, but functionally, they report to the board committee. Similarly, the CISO, previously, the couple of years back, CISO reported to the chief information officer. Now we have segregated the role of CISO and CIO. CISO directly report to the CEO and to the IT steering committee. So their function has been properly segregated. Their separate set of team. He has been giving a proper strategic role in this organization. We have a proper 3 years strategic plan. Every 3 years we made, and then one of the biggest portion of the cyber of the security of the strategic plan is the cyber security and all the cyber threat as well. So it is the responsibility of the CISO. He report directly to CEO, both administratively and functionally report to the IT steering committee as well. He has been given mandate that he can bring into knowledge directly some issues directly to the board as well. So it is empowered through the regulations here.
Okay, that's amazing. That's good to hear that, and good to hear that the CISO is reporting directly to the CEO and does have access to the board steering committee.
Yes.
Now, Badisab, and we are almost at the tail end of the conversation now, but given the fact that the threat landscape is evolving, we need more talent in the cybersecurity team, and we also need to make sure that the technical teams and the non-technical teams have the right level of cybersecurity awareness. So, what are you guys doing to make sure that you are tapped into the right talent pool and making sure that you have the right talent available?
We have because we are, as we are the tightly regulated entity, so we have been given a proper HR manual mandate given by the board. And in this HR manual, the requirement of the CISO and their team is clearly spelled out what the qualification, what the background required, what are the minimum qualification and the minimum experience required for the CISO, and what are the requirement of the downline staff who reported directly to CISO. And we have been hired the best pool from the market who has sufficient knowledge in the cybersecurity and the IT side as well. And then we continuously invest on our people and processes as well. Where we invest our certain amount of budget for the system and processes, we have allocated a separate amount of pool for the training and development of the particular staff, especially in the area of IT, cybersecurity, and the operation side. So every year we have been given internal training, external training, training by the external partners. And due to COVID this year, they haven't gone anywhere internationally, but every year we have sent our staff to the regional areas where they get the latest knowledge of this cybersecurity. So we have a proper budgetary allocation for both people and processes for not only for the cybersecurity, but every areas in the organization, and particular focus to the IT side, which includes the cybersecurity as well.
Amazing. Rightly said. You just couldn't agree more with that point that you made. Really happy to hear that you guys are tapped into the right talent pool. So we're at the final minute of our conversation, Badi Saab. And in terms of parting remarks, or question for you, that is that, I mean, CDC is part of a really important ecosystem of Pakistan, which is the capital markets, and it will be. I mean, we can safely say that you guys are part of the critical infrastructure of the country. How are you guys working with other players in the public and private sector of Pakistan to make sure that the right amount of controls are in place at CDC and other components which make the critical infrastructure of Pakistan?
Yeah, again, the CDC as a purposely built organization. It is formed in 1997 and is the only organization, the typical organization in Pakistan for the development of this institution. First, the statute has been passed by the parliament with the Central Depository Act, and under the act, this system and this company has been formed. And interestingly, the Central Depository system we have, all the functions and processes has been written in the law. So our system is the term used these days is the ECTEC. So whatever the regulation here, we converted that regulation in the technology. So our system is tightly regulated and compliant with the law, not the regulation. Law means which has been passed by the country at the assembly and the national parliament level. And then we have been governed our operation through another law statute, which is Securities Act 2015. So CTC is a tightly regulated entity, and we have been placed centrally in the ecosystem of in the capital market for both the stock exchange, the national clearing company, financial institutions, issuer of the company. So we have been played a key and a centralized role for the development of the capital market. We are continuously in touch both in the regulatory and the voluntary purposes. We have been given mandate for this role even by the State Bank of Pakistan. For the digital drive in Pakistan, CDC has been given a mandate for to channelize all the banking functions through the CDC. We have provided a various digital solution almost free of cost to the stock market, which include the insurance depository. We have been provided the zakat depository. We have provided the Ocean Digital account. We have been given a mandate for the dividend depository. For example, if you whatever the dividend you receive from the company, your record is being maintained by CDC. So CDC, as a important partner of this ecosystem, has been in continuous contact with every organization, not only three organizations, the State Bank of Pakistan, Federal Board of Revenue, the Apex regulator, other financial ministries, everyone, because we have more than 800 companies here in the CDC. And I told earlier that the size of the data, so the value of the securities we have is about more than 40 billion US dollars. And we have been given mandate of sole trustee in the organization for the mutual fund, where the asset under management we are managing directly is about more than 6 billion US dollars. About we are capturing the market share of 98% of the mutual fund. So CDC has been given as a status of the national database by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So our database is very much important for the stock market for the national. And one thing more with this connection, for the cyber security, the company like CDC, their risk is more than that other organization because it is a state risk as well. If
Yes.
anyone who is against the state, they want to jeopardize the financial system of Pakistan, they have attacked the system to jeopardize system. So we are very much cognizant of the fact, and we have been monitored. We are in the top level committee by the foreign affairs, where all the agencies are there. The CDC is the only commercial entity who have been given a mandate that they sit in that committee to know for all, not only the FATF, AML, KYC, we have been giving a detailed list of all the United Nations sanction list. We have to ensure no one has open account which has been barred to invest across the globe. So CDC has a typical infrastructure institution who have been given a mandate for the national database and for provide the important role in the ecosystem.
Badi Saab, thanks a lot for sharing insights on how CDC and the various stakeholders in the capital markets ecosystem are playing an important role in securing the infrastructure, securing the customer database, and making sure that you have the right amount of oversight. You're doing a great service to the country. Thanks a lot for sharing insights on that. And yeah, I wish you all the best in growing this ecosystem and making sure that not a single stone is unturned. So thank you for your valuable time, Badiuddin
Thank you
Saab.
very much. Thank you very much for
Yeah,
giving us time
yeah,
to
we
speak
should.
about our market. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Take care, everyone.
Thank you, sir. We'll be pausing for another 30 seconds and then we'll debrief after the session ends.
Okay, sure.